Oscar and Valeria Presente. I, the main reason why I'm making this video right now, um, which like all of my other videos will get no views, which I'm very very happy about probably, is mostly because I'm starting to use this platform once in a while to kind of just talk to the universe. And occasionally you kind of like see something that like hits you at a gut level in a visceral way, that just like knocks your socks off. And I can't shake that image of Oscar Martinez and his daughter Valeria drowned face down, on the banks of the Rio Grande. I'm not able to get that image out of my head. I know that they're not obviously the only one, and I know there are many others, and I know that this is highly unlikely to be the last, and it's quite possible that right now, because of social media and because of like just the media explosion in mass communication, that like we're seeing something a lot more than we normally would, or maybe things aren't as bad as they seem or whatever, and it's because we're seeing so much of it. But regardless, it hit me at a gut level because I'm an immigrant. I'm a very privileged immigrant. I came here professionally, as a student, and got sort of like higher education and like garnered settler privileges in that way. But like more than that, it was as a father. I have a 3-year-old daughter who's my life, along with her mother, my partner, and 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 soulmate, and everything. And I think about that, and I often, and the thing that hit me the gut most is because I often put my daughter to bed, pretty much every night. We've been doing it pretty much since the day she was born, where I dance with her for a few songs and rock her to sleep. And often I see, when I put her to bed, I see her back. She's sleeping, and I see her, and she's usually lying on her side because, even as from an infant onwards, it's better to not. It's not a good idea to have the infant necessarily like lie on their back, whatever. Like, we put them in the safe position, and like, but eventually, as she grew up into toddlerdom, she'd eventually sleep like this, and then she'd eventually sleep on her face, and all I'd see is kind of maybe like just a little bit of her closed eye, and that peaceful expression, but also, for the most part, the back of her head, and her back, and her lower torso covered by a blanket, and that's what Valeria looked like. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but that's what she looked like. That is what she looked like. She looked like Daya, sleeping. And it's hard. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that we live in a world where this happens. It's kind of crazy that I live in this privileged society, America, with all these privileges, and there's so much. This country has so much, and yet this is what happens to people who just want a little bit of what is their right to global citizenship, to share in all of this plenty that we have in the West. But eventually, no matter what, the blood of our martyrs, and the blood of Oscar and Valeria, and all of them, everyone who smashes boundaries and renders nation states and divisions of humanity obsolete. The blood of those martyrs, our martyrs, will not be spilt in vain. It will not be spilt in vain. No. And yeah, and there are many of us in many countries who will gladly help smash those borders, because our martyrs are doing it as we speak. And yeah, but most of us are doing it by building community and contributing to this society. But it would be really wise. It would be viable and wise to realize that immigrants and refugees are built to be resilient, to like face problems, to like to develop fearlessness and be creative and work hard and be brave. It is a good idea for us to be able to like work together in facing the coming storms of climate change and social collapse. Oscar and Valeria were not just a father and daughter who drowned in the Rio Grande trying to make a better life for themselves. That greatest of martyrdom that they achieved in order to break the borders for everyone else. Oscar and Valeria were not just another statistic. They were also one of the greatest losses that the society that they were trying to come to could experience. They had powers. They had fearlessness in them. They had skills. They had creative thinking. They had brains to help this slothful, mindless, consumerist-oriented, convenience-focused, sociopathic, patriarchal, settler-colonial society. It would help. They would have helped this society face the coming storms, and instead, our society killed them. I'm part of this society. My people are those martyrs, but my people are also the oppressors. We are all in this together. And if we do not realize that our most precious souls are right now dying, they are spilling their blood in order to break the borders that divide us. If we do not realize that, if we don't realize that is precious for humanity, that is what is going to take us over the mountaintop, apart from our glorious mothers across class spectrum and across racial and ethno-national spectrum. It is our mothers, and it is those who traverse seas and break boundaries and face these problems and cultivate fearlessness in them. They're the ones who are going to help us get over the mountaintop. Like, why are they dying like this? It's ridiculous. I ain't even getting into the emotional and sentimental and visceral, very angry and very angry sight to like seeing pictures like this. Anger that's like cultivated over many years for a lot of us. Holding it. We are holding it for our future generations. But please, we are coming holding our hands out in friendship. These borders will break. They will either break with blood or they will break with love. in all likelihood, unfortunately, because humanity is basically filled with misogynistic dumbasses, they're most likely to be broken with a lot of blood. But also because humanity is filled with a lot of beautiful, awesome souls, they are going to be broken with a lot of love too. Anyway, that is all. Oscar Valeria, Presente.